1. Negative 2 and negative 1. So this would be x minus 2. This is review. This is not today's assignment. And x minus 1. Okay? So this is combining what we learned on the first day, take stuff out, which you should always do first. That's number 1. And then, can I do anything else? The 3-term thing here does factor just like we've been doing. What was different between this right here and what we did yesterday?
You're saying you just only did FOIL, right?
Oh, there was
It's
a number
easier.
at the beginning.
Yeah, there's a number up front here, which made it harder. Do you guys remember how we did that yesterday?
FOIL.
3x, no, it's not foiling. Factoring is the opposite of foiling. Well, I gotta think a little bit.
That's quite good.
Okay, you remember how we started it? What do I put in front here?
Yes.
3x, and then x, and what do I put in back here?
That's quite good. Oh, wait. No.
It's either what? What are my options?
1 or 5.
1 and negative 5, or negative 1 and 5, or we could switch the order, 5, negative 1. So you just kind of got to guess and see what works.
Minus 5 plus 1.
If I put the minus 5 here, remember I checked by foiling, that'll be minus 15x. And then if I put the plus 1 here, that'll be plus 1x, which makes that middle term. You guys remember that? Probably about as hard as this chapter gets. I mean, it can be a little bit harder because you can take stuff out first and then do that. So that's about it though. Okay, now let's look at the worksheet. This,
2-day assignment.
the side that says factoring differences of squares. Okay, before we do number 1, let's look at something really quickly. You guys remember what kind of problem this was? It's a FOIL, and what's special about it?
It's foil.
Stuff cancels out,
I don't
right?
want to do it. That's special.
If you do the first, so that's a squared, and then the outside is plus 5a, and then the inside is minus 5a, and then the last is minus 25, and then the middle terms cancel out, right? Okay. How did Lydia know that was going to happen? Because the minus and the plus, and we've done it before, right? So it simplifies to a squared minus 25. So when you have a square minus a square, when they say differences of squares, that's what they mean. It's a square minus a square. When you have a square minus a square, what that came from is foiling they're called conjugates, 2 conjugates together. So to factor it, to break it apart, it's the opposite of foiling. All you do is ask, what is the square root? They both have to have square roots. A square is something that has a square root. 9 is a square because the square of 9 is 3. 16 is a square because the square of 16 is 4. And so on. So on number 1, do both of those have square roots?
7.
A and 7 are the square roots.
So what do you write? No,
So, just like this one was a and 5, and it become a minus 5, a plus 5. So, by the way, this only works if there's a minus right here. If there's a plus, it does not factor, and it is prime. Okay, this only works with a square minus a square. Okay, so on number 1, the square root of a squared is a, and the square root of 49 is 7. So the answer is just going to be a plus 7, a minus 7. Does the order matter?
No.
No. You just have to have 1 plus, 1 minus. If I FOIL that together, what do I get? A squared minus 49. Okay. Does that kind of make sense? So number 3, is it a square minus a square? Yes. I should have checked make sure all of these are factorable. There might be some primes.
There's like a negative 1.
Well, does 1 have a square root? 1, so that works. Okay, number 3, what would it be?
12.
The square root of p squared is,
12.
the square root of p squared is p. Square root of 144 is
12.
12. So it's p minus 12 and p plus 12.
This is my. What's that there? What's that, dude?
Okay, we're getting ready to go around the horn. So are you guys catching on yet?
Yes. Yeah.
So far so good. Okay,
Go first.
since I heard so much confidence down there, let's go front row. Emily, number 5.
Never mind.
Okay.
I'll go.
Okay, so
Leo, Trey volunteers to choose.
it's x plus 3 and then x minus 3.
X plus 3, x minus 3. If you can't remember whether this is how it works or not, how do we know whether we did it right? If we don't know whether this works or not, you foil it. If you foil it, it should go back to the original.
So how's it the opposite if you could foil it? It's my answer.
What do you mean? If you multiply this together, it should go back to what number 5 said.
I haven't reviewed the question.
Okay, number 7, Emily. Remember square root of 121? Okay, who remembers square root of 121? This is in our
11.
times tables. 11 times 11.
Oh, I thought we were doing 9.
So what would it be, Emily?
K plus 11 and k minus 12.
K plus 11, K minus 11. Number 9. Okay, this one is 289 is not in our times table, so how do we figure it out?
You
Don't
don't
the numbers in the calculator.
So it's an easier way than that.
I don't.
If we're trying to figure out what times itself equals 289, there's a button on the calculator for that,
Where?
and we should all know it.
Square root of.
Square root, there you go. That's like saying what's the square root of 289?
2, 8, 9, square root.
If something squared equals that, then the square root of 289 will tell us what that is. That's what square root does.
Can you show
Back to
me
the root.
mine? I think.
Yeah. So what's that come out to? Is anybody plug it in?
It doesn't work.
Square root of 289 is, nobody's done it? 17. So number 9 is n plus 17, n minus 17.
I think
Did you find it?
it's this one.
Not in.
Yours, did you find it?
I was putting it in negative.
We all should definitely know where the square root button is. Okay, number 11. What's different on number 11?
Here's the number book.
There's number in front. Trey, what do you think we're going to do for 11?
2x.
2x. Then what?
2x plus 5.
2x plus 5 and
X
2x minus 5. So just do the square root of 4x squared. Square root of 4 is 2. So 2x plus 5, 2x minus 5. Leo, how about number 13?
3a. So it's 3a minus 2 and 3a plus
Correct. He said 13. 3a plus 2, 3a minus 2. Carter, 15.
But mine isn't a 3.
Hmm? The square root of 9 is 3. Remember, we're doing the square roots. Carter, what number means 15?
15. 3 is 3b plus 5 is 3b minus 5.
Okay. Sam, 17.
4r plus 5, 4r minus 5.
Okay. Britton,
Hold on, please.
19.
Hold on, please. 19, you said?
Yeah.
So 5 and plus 9, 5 and minus 9.
Not quite. Try again.
I don't know, I do.
Just look carefully. Instead of 5, you said 5m plus 9. What should it be?
Minus?
You gotta take
Oh, minus 3.
right. 5m minus 3, 5m plus 3. Let's see, 20, I notice all the odds don't have a 1 on them, so maybe we should do one of those evens. How about, 16?
Yeah.
Alright.
12 and 16.
Okay, how about Gracie, you wanna try 16? The rules don't really change, still do the same thing. What's the square root of 1? 1, so Gracie, what would 16 be?
1 minus A2.
1 minus A and 1 plus A. Yeah, just 1 minus A, 1 plus A.
Is it the same on 12?
Yeah, the 1 would be at the end, of course.
Does the order matter?
Yeah, the ordered, on the parentheses, no. But the 1 needs to be in the front on number 16, and it needs to be in the back on 12. That does matter because one of them is a minus, and the order of subtraction does matter. I think you guys are all scribbling faster than I'm talking, so I might just let you keep going. The back is a review of something we already did, so I'm not going to talk about that. So just keep on rolling. We'll call that good.